Hey everybody, it is Wintermute coming to you from the think tank, and this is going to be I know I just did a kind of channel update on the last video I did on my tech talk where I did the update about strategic rockets. This is kind of be in the same vein as a channel update, and I kind of want to just I want you to know, now obviously I'm not a big YouTuber, but I do have enough people that follow me that I feel I need to just state the when there's a shift in the variety of content. I want to kind of explain my rationale behind it. And in this case, I decided that I want to kind of expand certain aspects of the channel in different directions, and I touched on that a little bit in my last video. And some of that is because of very kind of personal reasons. There's topics that pop up in a general sense about issues within, in part issues within the gaming community as a whole. And when I say gaming, I don't just mean board gaming, or I don't just mean global war, which obviously this is the focus of the channel. I'm talking about gaming as a whole, because I've gamed since I was 10. So I've played a wide variety of games, different types, different styles over the years. My attitude towards certain aspects of gaming have changed. And I would like to kind of touch on some of that topic. So I guess in some ways gaming philosophy topics and things like that, and the state of gaming. But I'm probably also going to do some life stuff as well. And it's going to sound odd, but I'm probably going to start doing some movie reviews and some critiques of movies and or popular culture stuff. Not in a, well, okay. Let me stay. I just want to expand my content. So I'm the kind of person who, when I get like a idea in my head, sometimes it kind of sticks there and just kind of keeps rolling around and rolling around and rolling around ad nauseum. And sometimes I have to grab a pen and paper and start jotting down that idea to almost unclog the RAM. Get it out of there so I can kind of refocus on other things. So in part, that's kind of what motivated me to do this. And I even do this at work right now, where I'll grab a pen and paper and I'll kind of just start writing something down. And the guys will joke, oh, Aaron's having a eureka moment. Leave him alone. Give him a minute. Let him finish writing that, and he'll get back on track. So it is kind of a joke, but that's kind of how I think. And I've kind of decided, you know what? Why don't I actually take action on that a little bit more? If I come across something that I find is really interesting and should be talked about for whatever reason, I kind of want to do it. And this isn't a vainglory type of thing on my part. I mean, obviously, and for I'm going to name two YouTubers that I look up to, and two things that they do, or each one does something that has made an argument that kind of made me go, you know what, that's an absolutely valid argument, and I understand your rationale, and I agree with it. Because of that, I should probably take this step in the direction I want to go. And one of them is Young Grasshopper, and now obviously he's an A&A fanatic. But he has also covered some other topics in his channel about his personal life and some of his personal struggles. Which I respect his openness and willing to share that with not just the community, but people he doesn't know. That's good. I like that. I respect that, because you never know when you share a life experience and somebody else may come along and go, wow, I thought I was the only one. And that can be very important to people. And I've led an interesting life, even when I didn't want to. So I have some odd life experiences, which I may or may not share. But the other person is General Hand Grenade. And he was talking about why he made his video channel in the first place. And he said he was perfectly happy only ever having one other viewer. And if it was just him and that one other viewer, then great. That was a success in his mind. Now, of course, I'm paraphrasing. He put it more eloquently. But I kind of went, I kind of agree with that as well. so in the same vein, I feel the same way. If I have one viewer who, constantly agrees with me and says, hey, great, this is great content, I love what you're saying and all that stuff, great, that's a success. I reach out to one other person, and we can talk about stuff, and he can enjoy my content, and there can be banter back and forth. And then if I get a second viewer who comes in and says, oh, you know what, your videos are good, but I disagree with you. I disagree with your stance and your opinions, and this is why. To me, that's a double success. Because I don't want to live in an echo chamber of people constantly saying, oh, you are so right. Everything you say is right. Now, if they honestly agree with me, yes, that's fine. But I would, if I'm off base on something, then I think it's perfectly okay. Even if they don't feel it's okay, it's perfectly okay, because I'm putting myself out there. It's perfectly okay to somebody, to contact me and say, hey, I disagree with your stance on this particular topic for this reason, or your argument about this, or your explanation of the rules in this case was a bit off, and I think here's why. Good. Please do that. I want you to be able to feel free to kind of have a discussion with me. And even if I find myself getting a little reflexively defensive, I promise you that's my problem, not your problem. So don't ever feel free, or don't ever feel like you're not free to point out something that you disagree with that I've said or done for whatever reason, so long as you're both being polite about it. So that's when I kind of decided, sometimes I may just want to do a video about a movie review for whatever reason, because I thought it was an amazing movie, and I want to share it with people, and or I thought it was a terrible movie, or it was somewhere in between, and I want to talk about what was good and what was bad. So I'm probably gonna do more types of videos. I may end up splitting off into it and having two separate channels. One focused on the Global War 1936, and I've decided this isn't just going to be Global War 1930. It's going to be the whole Global War series or any other game that HBG puts out. Assuming that I get into that game, because I may not get into all the games that they release. I have less interest in 1914, because that time period doesn't interest me as much. But there are definitely now I may feel different when the rules come out and I get to read them, and maybe I'll get excited about it. But then there are other time periods that do excite me, like the 2025 will be coming out soon, and I've read the rules. And that game excites me because I think it's a much different type of game than the 1936 game, for obvious reasons. And so I want to eventually cover all the whole Global War series. 1936 is for many reasons going to be the flagship game for this company, probably forever. And that's just, it's World War II. It's a well-known event, and that's that's just the reality of history. So there will be other content showing up, but I will also make it a point to put them in proper playlists, so you can pull it up and go, oh, this is okay. Well, he added a video. He saw a new movie and he did a review on that. I'm not really interested in watching that on his part, and that's perfectly okay. Maybe you don't care about my opinion on movies or music or whatever. That's fine. So I'll do my best to kind of keep certain things separate. One thing I do want to say going forward with this, though, is I'm going to I'm going to tackle some issues that are probably going to be controversial. And I'm perfectly okay with that. And I'm not the kind of person who tries to please everybody all of the time. I don't think I should. I don't think it's a good policy to do that. And it's not that I'm going to just say, well, this is my political belief about this, and thus, it's like, well, look, here's where I stand on this issue. Here's why I stand on it. I'm going to back it up with hopefully well-reasoned and rational arguments backed up by empirical evidence, and that's why I take this position. So even if I tread onto sensitive ground, or somebody somewhere thinks, well, I take the opposite stand, and I do my own YouTube channel and I've mentioned my stand, and it's the opposite stand of him, so clearly he's coming at me and my clique that believes that way. That's not the case. It's not the case. Maybe one of you, maybe somebody's video may have triggered me to go, oh, you know what? I really don't agree with that. And I think I would like to discuss why. Not even necessarily for the intent of changing somebody's opinion, because I'm not trying to change anybody's opinion in most cases. But so I don't look at it as a debate. I look at it as a discussion. So, at the same time, it's don't take it personal. People are allowed to have a different take on things and what they're looking for. I tend to base my positions on real personal experience that I can point to and say, here it is, and this is why I am the way I am on this particular topic. And at the same time, I also try to back it up with like I said, well-reasoned, rational arguments that are, based in rational, logical thought, and then backed up with empirical evidence. If you can't tell by now, I'm very much of a scientific mind, and had my life turned out differently, I might have actually gone into one of the life sciences, but that just wasn't in the cards for me. I can be, as some of my friends have said, frustratingly rational at times. I don't take that as a negative thing. It's more of an observation on their part, and I'm okay with that because I am who I am. But it's I just want to point out, we're not, and I'm probably going to have an atypical view on certain topics, or not a popular view. And it's not, I don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable because they're watching one of my videos about where I stand and why I stand on it. I know and I'll just put this one out there as an example. I know that I do want to do a video about sportsmanship at some point, and my take on what it is, what it means, some misconceptions about sportsmanship, and some issues about sportsmanship, and conflicts between people about sportsmanship. And I'm probably going to have a typical view on that. I'm not going to go into the details right now. I'm just using this as an example, and I'll do that. I'll do that at other times. We'll kind of just make where I actually stand on this issue isn't the point. And I'm not going to tell you. The point is this. So that's kind of an example. Is it might ruffle some feathers, and you know what? If your feathers get ruffled because somebody else might have a different opinion than you, it's kind of not my problem. It's okay to put your ideas out in the marketplace of ideas, and if they're bad ideas, then they'll just fall to the wayside over time. If they're good ideas, then they can gain traction. Then they'll enter into the running as being one of the many viable options on the way to look at certain things. But yeah, I still am a very big stickler for politeness and proper discourse and and good behavior. So that will always be in effect, even if you want to post a comment that is going to be disagreeing with me about something. I expect it to be polite. And I'm not, and I'll say this, I'm not the kind of person who's going to delete a negative comment out of, but I will say, this is my channel, so this is not actually a forum for free speech. As much as I am a huge proponent of free speech, I will respect your ability to say what you want here, so long as you're polite. If you're not going to be polite, I'm going to shut you down, because this channel is in some ways an extension of my house, because I'm literally sitting in my house right now, and this is an extension of that in my mind. And so you can post what you want, and I will probably leave your post up there, even if it's negative or nasty, but it's not probably going to go unchallenged on some level, but I will politely challenge it. So again, just to sum up, there's going to be a lot more variety of content, because sometimes I just want to make a video about this. I want to talk about this, and I am the kind of person that doesn't have a big group of friends, just because I have a very few friends that are very good and very close friends. But sometimes I just want to get out there and take the risk of putting myself out there a little bit more. and having a wider variety of opinions kind of coming back at me. So I'm okay with all that. And, for my own reasons, I'm going to start kind of expanding into some other areas, even if it's just to talk about it. Maybe even an occasional rant. Okay, there will be a rant or two, probably sooner than later. But that's just, again, it's my channel, so I'm gonna put up what I want. But feel free to discuss it with me, and I will discuss it with you guys politely as well. So I just wanted to give a quick update about what to expect and why there's different stuff and kind of what I expect and hopefully it is entertaining enough that the people who are here will watch it and enjoy it, and maybe I can get some more people kind of in to watch some of that. But the channel is still primarily going to be about historical board games. And if anything else kind of overshadows that, then I will probably break it off into a different channel. Not that I want a ton of channels in them, and I'm not hunting for a ton of, I'm not hunting for 8,000 viewers or 1 million viewers or anything like that. Like I said, I'd rather a smaller group of people who actually care about me and the channel, and that I can care about my viewers. So that's where I'm headed. I'll probably have a couple videos in that vein coming up this week, just to kind of, like I said, excise them, because they're kind of bouncing around in my short-term memory. So I got to kind of clean that out a little, and that hopefully that will kind of, then I want to kind of get back to some more gaming stuff, because I don't like leaving some of the series that I have, particularly the national one. I don't like leaving that hanging like that without finishing it. But I've also said before, I'm going in for surgery, and my energy levels have been really low, and hopefully that'll kind of rectify itself within the next month, and I'll be a lot more gung-ho about getting things updated and onto the channel. So with all that said, there's the update, there's where I'm headed, there's the idea behind it. Yeah, this is Wintermute signing off.